So, I still had some smoke left in there. I'm black. Oh, no, I'm back. I have the camera backwards so I can see what I'm doing when I. So let me sit back a little bit because my face I can't see. Anyway, as promised, I'm going to do. I have to get up now. Let me turn the light out back there. So what I'm getting ready to do is I forgot to tighten the daggone bolt. Tighten the bolt. I'm getting it together. What I'm getting ready to do is the art of networking 2. Like also. So in this part I want to mostly focus on and why I'm using the phone camera is I'm going to focus on the retreat part of what I was talking about. So, let me start out from here. This is, which I forgot to say again at the beginning, Magu Zian Show. Divine marijuana brings immortality. So, where am I at? I am right there. There it is. So after I learned Tai Chi and taught Tai Chi for quite a few years, I learned about cannabis while living on the beach here in Venice Beach, California. So I wasn't sure, since I'm an ex-Marine and all that good stuff, I wasn't your average beach bum. See that table? I was selling stuff, and all that stuff went in that box in the back. That box sitting up. That's where I lived. I actually built my own little tiny house on Venice Beach. Well, actually, a friend and I built it together, but everybody else was sleeping on the sidewalk. I had a little tiny house. You understand? And a business. So this is where I actually got my certificate for my church, temple, and now house of divinity. So from the beach, when I was like 60, I was like, this is getting old now. Along with me, I'm getting old. So I was like, let me get my ass in an apartment. So this was the first temple that I had, and I found some students out here at Lamert Park when I discovered where it was at. And, they used to come over, and I had a student with his girl come live with me, and she set the place on fire and almost killed a bunch of people. So I moved back to New York and da-da-da-da. So after that, this is where I'm at now. This is the front door of where I'm talking to you from. You understand? So far, I've been here, about 5 years and no problems. So from there, while I was here, I got some land. So that's a picture of me when I first went up to the land and took a picture. on the land. But as you can see, it is raw land. Like nothing's there but some couple of bushes and stuff like that. And I have my, of course, those are my, I can't, emblems. I keep saying symbols. I don't want to say symbols. My emblem of the temple, church, house of divinity. That's the overall one. And this is the one for the Kannablis Kung-Fu. And this one, I really have to make my own because I kind of took this one, but it's the symbol for the Roy Bates Bank. So this is land banking. I'm starting out with land banking. When we get into the Taonomics, I'll talk about what land banking is. So my vision for this land is da 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 da. The back to the land. Well, that's kind of old. Back to the land or black to the land. That's kind of old, but this is the only picture I had, so I'm using it. Eco retreat or cannabis, right there is a Kannablis. Again, I'll talk about all that. That's kind of old way I used to say it, but for people to understand what I was saying, I just say cannabis now. So I'm not going to explain what cannabis. So, but that's it right there. I want to take the raw land. You can see me. That's me with the white beard. On the land, in Lancaster, it just happened to be called Lancaster. And this is what I want to do. Each individual member, well, these domes are kind of big. They're a little bigger than one tent dome. But it depends on how big your family or how big your group is. We will build your dome on the land so you can come anytime you want. But we will be, of course, I will be having events. The basic one is what I call the Lawad lecture and answers after the lecture, answers to your questions. And, lecture, answers, a workshop, and then I'll do a demonstration. So, but the tents, the actual tents, depending on if you're individual, the actual tent is going to be a lot smaller than this. It'll be the size of a tent, and we'll build it. You pay for it. It'll be, I'm thinking, around $100 to build a tent. It'll be a permanent tent. It ain't going nowhere, and you'll be able to use it whenever you come to the land. Now, if I'm giving an event or somebody's having an event on the land, if you're not coming to the event, you and I can rent out your tent. This is your dome tent. You can rent it out to somebody who buys a ticket, and then we're going to split the money. I ain't going to give it all to you now. God dag nabbit, I ain't giving it all, man. So we can split the money because it's on my land, you understand? But it's your tent because you paid for it. But we built it on my land. So that's a win-win situation. You're not there, but you're making money with your own dome. All right? So that's pretty much what I wanted to explain. Well, since I'm up here, I'll just talk about my little... This is some of my art. I'm going to get more deeply into that because I do a whole bunch of shit. Like, I made these myself. You understand? I drew it. Well, I ain't draw it like you think of drawing. I drew it though, so I'll explain all that later. And then I cut out the piece, like that's the hidden dragon. The dragon is hidden in the sun, but it's on the yin side of the wall, the black side. But the crouching tigress, see, the tigress is the female side, and it is the manifestation. All this side, the yang or white side, is about manifestation. Even though it's a tigress or a female, we say man infestation. But the two of them together create another yin and yang right in the center of the yin and yang, or yin and yang, that I painted on the back of the set. Yay! So there's a whole lot going on this wall, but this is part 2 of the art of networking 2, part 2. And soon I'm getting ready to explain all the symbols or all the pictures up here on the wall. Right quick, we start with since we on the yin side, the black side, we start with the hidden dragon. That's your life force, your unused or untapped inner energy. And then we have the marijuana leaf. So I have it upside down to kind of like, when you get high, you be like, upside down. And then we go to Wu Chi. This represents Wu Chi. I'm going to talk about that. Wu Chi turns into Tai Chi, or the two sides are called Yin and Yang. And then, well, up there I got some Hebrew letters. I ain't going to talk about that right now. And then we got the 5 elements. This right at the center, the 5 elements, is real deep. It goes into foods. It goes into all different types of things, not just one thing. And then we got the Bagua, or the 8 trigrams, which in my system, you have 8 trigrams in the legs, the stances, and you have 8 trigrams in the upper body, the fists. That's the first form of no form. And then we have here showing how the hexagrams were made. The heaven hexagrams are on top, and then the earth or lower hexagrams on the side. And when you combine them, you get 64 hexagrams. I keep saying hexagrams. Those are trigrams because it's 3 lines on top. Those are heaven. And trigrams going down the side, those are earth. And when you combine them, you get 64 combinations. And that can be put into a circle, all of the hexagrams. So there go my symbol. God dang nabbit. The thing for the Kung Fu thingy. And this is where we get deep. I've said it before, but we're going to talk about it in detail, how DNA and the I Ching basically come into existence the same way. And then here is the Roy Bates Bank. And we're going to talk about all these things that are collector's items that are worth money. And this represents the whole system of Tao alchemy. And then I'm going to even talk about why I beat my bong at the beginning of the video. So the bong, everything here has a purpose, has a reason. I just don't do stuff without purpose, without reason. And then I'm not going to show it right quick, but right quick, this is my art, and that's the entertainment. So I'm still working on that. So we'll talk about that when I talk about it. Let me turn y'all back around, back so y'all can see me. So that's, where am I at? Oh, there you go. So that's part 2 of, where am I at? Can you see it? I don't know if y'all can see it or not, because I can't see you. That's part 2 of The Art of Networking 2. And because I can't see you, we're going to cut this one short. Because it's kind of like experimenting right now. Let me move y'all back and see if I can just turn this on over here. God dang nabbit, before it goes. Let me see what I got here before I go away.
You pull, his hand comes off, but his hands are free, so he can fight back quickly. But if you move with the accelerated speed used in sports, he'd react immediately.
Oh, man.
Using Budo method of moving at constant velocity.
Buddha method.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm not going to turn it off until...
This is what you can do.
Until I do what I want to do, so I don't be like doo-doo. I wanted to get my theme music. Theme music. I got music. Me. I'll see you in the next video. I'm out. Peace. Oh, did you go off? Wait a minute, you didn't go off yet. Go off.